Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Weston Pugh.
And I'm Jeff Updike. And in episode 348 today, we are down in Oak Cliff and we are looking at a home at 830 Kessler Woods Trail. This is in the Kessler Woods neighborhood. It's a beautiful, modern construction. This is a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, over 3,500 square foot pool, and just an excellent home.
It's got things in it that you didn't even know you needed, so stay tuned for that. But we're also going to highlight three amazing places that people love in Oak Cliff and why they like to call it home. And then also in Homeownership 101, we're going to talk about coverage killers, which is what insurance happens when you don't get it filled out right.
And before we get into that, let's talk about the data.
So what's so great about 75208 is that it has so many wonderful neighborhoods. You've got Winnetka Heights, Stephen Park, Kessler Woods, just to name a few. And it's really heavy on the topography and also on the trees. So walking around this neighborhood, you will always run into your neighbors. One of the things that we also like is the diversity of the type of homes. There's 1920s bungalows, craftsman's, and we're also starting to see some infill product. We've got new modern construction like the one we're going to talk about today that is really changing the price and bandwidth of this entire neighborhood.
And this is all served by the Dallas Independent School District. This has Rosemont Elementary, Griner Middle School, and Sunset High School are the assigned schools there. It is minutes from Bishop Arts District, the Trinity Levy Trail. The Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge will take you right into downtown. And it's a really interesting mix of housing stock in this zip code because you have duplexes, you have some small condos, you have big multi-million-dollar homes. And so as we're going to see in the numbers in a moment, there can be a really big swing on the median sales price in this neighborhood. The median sales price was $509,000 in June of this year. And I'll give you an example of what I was just talking about. In January of this year, the median home price was $457,000. In May of last year, it was over $700,000. So that wide swing in median sales price does not indicate the values really going up and down. It's really just talking about what properties are selling in that price point. There were 27 closed sales in June. That was up 8% from last year. And the volume in the market was up, but the supply was still flat.
So one of the things that we're also going to talk about is actually the new home listings that have come on the market. We're looking at right at 43 for this month. And if we look at it year over year, it was 42. So we're really looking at flats. So there's a deep pool of inventory and buyers. And we're looking at buyers that are actually doing a good job of like researching and figuring out what they want to buy. One of the things we also like to do is find out what sellers are getting on sales price. And so right now sellers are getting 97 cents on the dollar. So that means that really well-priced homes are moving at or near list price, and that there's a little bit of room for negotiations. It's interesting with the days on market, how that kind of plays out, but you're still seeing a healthy, I would say almost a balance in the market between buyers and sellers. Whereas before it was too lopsided for sellers, I believe, for a long time. All right. So with that, what we like to do is talk about what's hot in the neighborhood.
So the first spot that we wanted to talk about is called the Atelier by The Experience. This is at 387 West Jefferson. It is a newer restaurant in the marketplace, has a globally inspired bistro with Chef Will Lima. Am I saying that correctly?
I think you got it.
Will Lima. He's out of Chicago. This is also a satellite gallery for Daisha Board Gallery. So it is rotating art as well as rotating items on the menu.
I actually had friends that went there, and I was like, hey, we're going to feature this on the show. Give us your thoughts. And both of them gave it rave reviews, thumbs up. It's a really unique experience, I think, that we haven't seen before in Dallas. So again, leave it to Bishop Arts District to come up with a new concept, you know, and everybody else has to follow. I'm sure
it'll be in the design district.
It'll be in the design district for the end of the week. Yeah. So one of the other things too that we're going to point out is there is a shop that we want to highlight. It's called Talazo Home, and it is curated and owned by Alejandro Gonzalez. And this is a really great store for the home that has a lot of one-of-a-kind items, craft, folk art, one-of-a-kind artisans. It is from Mexico. It has such a great flair. If you haven't, he's got a Facebook page and an Instagram. Check him out. Support local. This is one of the things I think that Oak Cliff always pushes in Bishop Park District. Support local, and this is one of the shops you definitely should take a look at.
And the last thing we wanted to talk about was the Kessler Theater. This is a 1942 theater that has been restored. It was once owned by Gene Autry, and it is on the National Historic Registry. Now, a really interesting thing is Vincent Neil Emerson is going to be on stage tonight. And, if you were talking in terms of what an Oak Cliff night looks like, dinner at the Atelier, stop by Bishop Arts to get your little coffee before you go over to the Kessler Theater. And it's all within a small walking distance.
That would be a great night. It's got everything that you need. So you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's shift gears and let's go ahead and talk about 830 Kessler. So this is basically, we termed it the modern home resort because when we take a look at it from this aerial view, you can see that you actually kind of swoop into the living space, and it's a front courtyard basically. And so everything, and we're going to get back to this, so don't feel like we're not going to hit all the highlights because we're going to circle back to that. But right here, you can see how you transition from the outside and come right in these front doors. It was amazing.
It really is. And I think one of the things I like best about many of the homes in Kessler Wood is they use a variety of the solid surfaces. So
Correct.
You'll see these beautiful beams that go throughout. These have beautiful wood floors, the white brick, the stone wrap around the fireplace, the big wide, I'm guessing almost commercial grade windows. It's got a commercial grade roof.
Yeah.
So, but just that vibe that you get with this property.
I think they're really great with the architect, the way that they layered in the elements. So you've got brick on the walls, you've got brick on the fireplace. You see through, as you see here, and we'll talk about it in a minute, but you can see through to the outside how it almost feels like we're living in a tree house. The open concept of this room, I thought, works really well because it allows you to really entertain here. But still, if you're going to have like just a movie night for two, this works out perfectly. I like the warm colors. I think that if you're going to do gray, do it dark. And as we swing around here, this is on the back side of the house. And so this is the back of the property, and it's a screened-in porch. They've done a detailing on the ceiling as well that kind of matches the bottom. But tell us a little bit about this. I love this entry, and this is their staircase.
I think this is so cool as it comes in because you've got the open backbone staircase that just really kind of screams modern style. And this is a recreation in the master bedroom of the downstairs vibe. So you've got the brick wall, you have the quartz on the fireplace front, and it opens up these huge doors right out onto a private patio.
So I don't know if they stage it, if this is really how he lives, but I think it's really interesting that they put the hammock there to give you actual scale for how size this is. Because a lot of times we get these and they're just like Juliets and they don't really mean anything.
Big walk-in double shower. You've got the double floating vanity, tile on the wall there. Does have the soaking tub off to the side, but again, they've still used a lot of windows to keep all the natural light coming in.
And I like the fact that this is a neutral palette. I feel like it can be masculine and feminine. Right here, you can definitely see this is a showstopper. If you need to have a department store closet inspiration, this is the one for you. Everything you see here is great. We also transition as we kind of describe the house. We're going to walk now upstairs on the second floor. We're going to walk back towards the front. And this is going to be the office that they have here. Again, great space. At the even further back, we've got two more bedrooms that are going to Jack and Jill. And again, plenty of room. You can see from the nightstands that it's not a cramped little space or anything.
And they've kept the continuity of the wood floors flowing all the way through, so the house feels very, very cohesive. You have these big sliding glass windows that look out to the patio, so you've got several really well-defined outdoor spaces. The Corten planters that they used really make a lot of sense. According to the listing agent, there is a gas line underneath that deck that is there for the fire pit that can be installed at some point.
And I think the smart thing is to be able to use the outdoor space 360. And so here we've got an outdoor kitchen as well. What we loved about this pool is that it has a hot tub, but it also has a chiller. And if anybody knows anything about Texas, these pools can get really warm. So this keeps it refreshing. The other thing, too, is I like the way that it has the umbrellas.
So this is a rolling credit, I guess, of all of the improvements that have been made since this home was built. And It is not old construction, but that's a lot of renovation that's taken place over the last 5 years.
And remember how I said these are things you didn't even know you needed?
Yeah.
This is the list. So it's a great way to pause this and really take it all in. Anyway, this is 830 Kessler Woods Drive. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2-car garage built in 2006. And this is an amazing home. And thank you so much to
Jeremy Whitaker for letting us talk about his home today.
Absolutely. So what we like to do is also in the comments, we're going to provide the link because there's a lot of pictures that we didn't use. Go ahead and click on those. You can zoom in and out on that map. If this is something that you know somebody would like to see, share this with them, give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see it, let us know and we'd be happy to make that happen. All right. So now's the time we're going to talk a little bit about the section called Homeownership 101. And this week, we're going to talk about insurance, the lack thereof, and some really serious, what do we call these?
Coverage killers.
Coverage killers. This is near and dear to my house. After the fire I had, I think insurance cannot be skimped on. And these, I would have to say, are very important.
We have 8 coverage killers that we're going to talk about today. One of the things that happens is, you buy your house, you pay your premiums, you own the house for 10 years, you file a claim, that one thing that happens along the way, and all of a sudden it gets denied. And often it is because you changed the house but didn't tell anybody.
Oops.
When you take your insurance policy out, you are taking it out based upon the snapshot of the house that day. And so as changes come along during that process, if you don't keep your insurance company informed, they can deny your claim.
Yeah. So we don't want this piece to be about fear mongering. It's about smart things to do. And so just to kind of put things into perspective, only 5 to 6% of insurance claims are actually denied. And that's an honest number. This isn't fear. It's the avoidance of denial people do to themselves. So let's talk about what the first 2 of these are.
The first 2 of these coverage killers are, one is your application. Be absolutely thorough and accurate when you fill out the application, because many times that is the point they're going to come back to. The number 2 is renovations. Many times after you've owned the house for a few years, you go through a renovation process. There are a couple of things that we learned along the way in studying for this, and one is that if you have not gotten the proper permits during that renovation process, then that might be a reason for denial in your insurance policy. But the other thing that would really affect you is that if you don't notify your insurance company about these renovations, you could be severely underinsured, because when you get your policy, many times you have to go through, I know with mine, I had to go through and rate the quality of the finish out products that were used in my kitchens and in my bathroom and in my flooring. And there were like 5 different levels, which means I'm only going to be, if I tell them I have an original bathroom over here, I'm going to be covered at level 1. But if I did a $50,000 renovation on it, I'm not going to be covered at that $50,000 level.
More coverage is better. That is definitely for sure. Now, one of the other coverage killers number 3 is actually going to be the vacancy clause. And this is very interesting because there was actually a Texas Supreme Court case that was filed when there was a frozen pipe claim. And it was actually cited for the actual insurance company. So here's the story that goes behind this, is that when your house is vacant, and it's vacant for greater than 30 or 60 days, depending on the policy, they can deny coverage. And so let's talk about when would a property be vacant. So if you're moving out of the state, out of town, and you're no longer in the house, and the house is on the market, and you don't think about this, and it goes greater than 60 days, and there's a claim made, it's not covered, or it has the possibility to be denied. So that's a real possibility. Also, think about you move out because you're doing a huge remodel and the kitchen has to be redone. Those things can take a very long time. And if it goes past that 60 days, again, you could be susceptible to not getting your coverage claimed. And last but not least, say that you're a snowbird, or this isn't your primary resident, and you haven't notified that you're not going to be there for 60 days and a claim arises. Again, there's a potential for that to be denied.
And the next two are very related to each other, and they both have to do with operating a business out of your home. The first is a lot of people are doing Airbnb, VVRO, nurse finders, that type of short-term rental in their home. And when you do that, your home instantly becomes a business to the insurance company, and it requires a different insurance. The second is if you really do run a business out of your home. Sometimes CPAs run businesses out of their home. Sometimes attorneys do. And the minute that you start having people come to your home, then it does become a business that can cause you to not be covered. If you have one of your clients walk up the sidewalk, trip, fall, and file an insurance claim, there's great potential that's going to be denied when they find out that that was a business transaction that was going on.
Absolutely. So the seventh coverage killer that I'm going to highlight is going to be your four-legged friends. Now, we all know that there's an aggressive breed list that insurance companies go by, and that is an exclusion. So if you have one, you need to make sure that they know. Now, here's something that I didn't know, is that if you have a dog that has a history of biting, that dog is not going to be covered. But here's why I thought this was really interesting, is that insurance dog bite claims are the highest there is. In 2024, it averaged $69,000, which is ridiculous to me. That's a lot of money to pay. I'm wrapping my head around it. I'm thinking it must be a hospital or something. But when we take a look at the totality of that over the nation over the entire year, it was $1.6 billion. So you can understand why insurance companies get really, they pay attention to those dogs, basically, at the end of the day.
And then the next one talks about your roof and wear and tear on your property. Wear and tear is never covered on your property. No. And maintenance is also required within your insurance policy. And so if something happens where, let's say that you have your roof gutters get backed up, and that whatever damage is caused by it creates an insurance claim. In the investigation, if they determine that it was lack of your maintenance that caused the problem, again, that's something else that they can deny you on. And number 8 is really a simple one. If you don't pay them, they're not going to cover you.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, it is an easy one.
So you talk about that one that's maintenance, and it's so interesting because I have a neighbor in my neighborhood that has a massive dead pine tree. And we were talking with Tammy Farmer when we were putting this together. And if the tree is dead and it falls over and falls on your house, that's not covered because it's maintenance.
Yeah.
It's one of their outs. And I thought, oh my gosh. She also told us that one of the agents in our office had a claim made and the insurance company denied it. But because her husband had said, hey, I want to be sure that this is covered on my policy, and put it in an email format, and they came back and said, yes, they were able to present that email and said, you told us we were covered for this exact same reason. And she helped them get that covered. So cover yourself for sure on that.
So the thing to remember is that before you change anything about your house, make a call to your insurance agent. Make sure that whatever your changes are going to be covered and that they're notified about it. Before you renovate, before you rent it out, before you add the pool, before you get the dog, before it goes empty, call your agent, because that one phone call can take care of every one of these coverage killers.
So that's the 8 coverage killers that we came up with. I'm sure that everybody has got a little bit of their own story. We would love to hear about those stories because that really makes this interesting. So that is a wrap for Homeownership 101. Please give us a like or a thumbs up. And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.